Let's go almost home.
Welcome into the CHGO Bears pregame show. We are live at Almost Home in Wrigleyville, one of our favorite venues.
We love almost home, 3801 North Clark and Grace.
We got a great crowd. The Bears are going to win today, and the Packers are losing.
They were losing.
Let's go, Jacksonville.
The most suspicious line of the week was this line.
Yeah.
It
I don't
made
know
no
if the
sense.
Packers are currently losing, but they are in a battle with Jacksonville right now.
Well, Adam Hoge, Corey Wootton, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. here with you on another beautiful Sunday in Chicago, and we got a lot of awesome things going on today. Come out. You can still come out and join us. We're going to be here throughout the Bears game, post-game, so if you're watching live right now in the area, you want to come by, come down to Almost Home.
Miller Lite.
We got Miller Lights rolling. We have fried Uncrustables.
Fire.
Rolling. Because that's a real thing, and they popped them in here at Almost Home, and they're like, you guys got to try this, and they're phenomenal.
The Bears eat 100 Uncrustables a week. The Denver Broncos lead the NFL with 700 Uncrustables a week.
How many does Washington eat, though?
The good question. Don't know the answer to that. I'll look it up. You're going to eat 100 Uncrustables today to be like a Bear.
How many ones are fried, though, that they eat? They don't probably eat the fried.
Exactly.
Almost Home goes to the next level. That's what they do.
We'll find out on Tuesday how many of those 100 are just Cole Kmet.
Yes.
Because we know he loves Uncrustables, and we got to talk about this with him later in the week.
Bad job by me on Friday. I saw Cole. I talked to Cole. I forgot to ask Cole about the Uncrustables. That's a loaf. It's a loaf. It's a bad job by me. I apologize.
Rookie mistake, man.
Bad
This is amateur hour, man. Come on.
I know. I let you down. I let everybody who loves this podcast down.
Well,
so I
Packers
apologize.
just scored a touchdown to go up 10 on the Jags.
Well, I was lying the whole time. They were never losing.
Jordan Love is out, but they're still, running their well-oiled machine that is the Matt LaFleur offense. The Detroit Lions are up by 50, right now on the Tennessee Titans. Yep. So, the Bears got to hold pace with this division. It's a huge NFC conference matchup, but at the end of the day, you're looking at your division too and say, hey, you got to keep up with these guys.
Minnesota lost on Thursday.
Yep.
That's big for the
We'll
NFC
take
North.
it.
So let's get into that. What matters most as we always start our pregame shows, and that's exactly where I was going with this, Greg, because we've been in this sort of land of, let's develop the quarterback. Let's develop this guy. Let's make sure it's all about the quarterback. And there's still a level of truth to that. But let's wake up, guys. The Bears are 4-2.
Right.
They can make the playoffs this year. And I think that would still be a huge step for this team. Caleb's already shown me enough that let's start talking about the playoffs. Let's start talking about winning the games being the most important thing. So for me today, when I look at the schedule, we talk about all these NFC North games coming up soon. These next 3 weeks are crucial. You have to pile up wins, and you have to pile up wins when you're playing NFC teams. So today in Washington, I don't necessarily care what it looks like. Jayden Daniels is active. He's going to play. This is the matchup we wanted. This is the matchup we've been talking about for weeks. It's got flex to CBS, and if you want to keep getting that respect, keep getting another flex in a couple weeks, have a realistic shot at the playoffs, you have to just win. I don't care what it looks like. Win the game. That's what matters most today.
I agree with you. I think this is a must-win game. The only thing that kind of scares me is after a bye week, right? As a former player, after the bye week, they were in rhythm, especially after that Jacksonville game. Everything's starting to line offensively. Defense is playing lights out. Then all of a sudden you have the bye week. You come back, guys go on vacation for a couple of days. You're kind of out of your routine. So when you come back, I expect them maybe to start a little slow, especially in that first half. I expect hopefully adjustments and really rely on the run game today. I know Caleb feels confident in this offense throwing the ball, but let's start out getting the run game going with Swift, and in particular in between the tackles. It's going to set up everything. It might not work early on, but you kind of wear the opposing defenses down, work the play action, just get them confident, and hopefully the defense, the biggest thing I want to see with the defense is staying at home. Jayden Daniels with those RPOs, everybody, the defensive end, the linebackers, they have to know exactly who they have on each play.
Yeah, come get him. Take Brax away.
Get him. But that's a situation where you just have to be at home and everybody has to know exactly who they have, because when you don't, this is where they can really hurt you.
You're channeling your Eric Washington, your former teammate. He talks about that. Got to know you got to be. Don't do more than you got to do, but do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Something along those
lines.
And
contain. Yes. Keep him inside the pocket. Jayden Daniels wants to get outside the pocket. If they can keep him in the pocket in this game, work your rush lanes, right? When you do have a game, right? If Jervon Dexter is working a game with Montez Sweat, he's coming inside. Jervon Dexter, get up to the level quarterback, force him in where the rest of the defense is.
So that's where I'm pretty much going, but just a little further down the old distance. Thank you, Hoge. I love when you touch my microphone.
Yeah,
it's outstanding.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to do it a lot.
The Washington Commanders are excellent running the football, 165 yards a game. That's third in the NFL. The Bears are 11th defensively, giving up only 112. Now, the reason why I think the run game is even more key today is because Jayden Daniels is a big part of that running game, right? Yep. He's got 66 carries, 372 yards. Are they going to let him actually run the football like he has? Are they going to do design runs with a guy who's got some rib issues? I'm interested to see that. If they don't, you especially are going to have to limit Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Jeremy Nichols, all these guys have had opportunities. 25 carries for McNichols, 32 for Eckler, and Robinson leads them with 85 carries for 396 yards, 5 a shot. So if the Bears are going to win today, they need to be the run defense that they've been and not what the Commanders have been able to do so far. Because if the Commanders get their run game going, it's going to be a big problem for that secondary, which is, of course, missing Jaquan Brisker, is, of course, missing Kyler Gordon.
Right, and when you say the Bears' run defense be what it has been, I think being 11th in the league might be a little deceiving for what they have been. They've given up. They've been gashed in the run game. The 11th in the league kind of speaks to their bend but don't break philosophy that they've really held true to, but they've given up a lot of explosive plays on the ground. And when you talk about the different running options they have outside of just Jayden Daniels, it is really Cliff Kingsbury that is the reason that this run game has become what it is, because Brian Baldinger put it on display. He joined us on Wednesday and talked about, hey, look at the last game against the Panthers. They had 8 runs to start the game in 8 different formations, 8 different looks. That's creativity that you just don't see that often around the league. So to your point about the Bears staying in their gaps, staying in their lanes, this game is crucial for that. And at the end of the day, we talk so much about Caleb Williams and what he's going to do week to week. But this is an opportunity for the defense to really kick the door in at playoff relevancy. And when you're playing a team like this that has a quarterback that's worried about, getting more banged up than he already is, you have an opportunity to step on their throat and show them, hey, you have a reason to be fearful of us, because this Chicago Bears defense is better than any defense that Washington's faced so far this year.
And talking about the defense, the front 7, that's the key to this game. I think depending on if the Bears win or not is how good and how disciplined that front 7, because there's going to be a lot of exotic looks like he talked about, 8 different formations, 8 different running plays to start off the game. They're trying to trick you, right, with the zone reads, get you off balance. So if they can stay at home, that front 7 working together, right? Be decisive about who you have, rally to the ball, set the edge of the defense, keep contained. I believe they could be successful.
Well, and it's the World Series, right? And so this is the moment for the Bears to hit the fastball. All week we thought that Washington was going to have to throw a changeup with Marcus Mariota. Well, you got your answer today. Jayden Daniels is playing. And if you want to be the Chicago Bears defense that you say you are, Jalen Johnson, you want to talk that this week saying we don't care, we're just going to beat their ass, then you got to step up to the plate and hit the fastball here today.
We'll talk more about Jayden Daniels and him being active in some of the games maybe Washington played this week coming up. But first, we also got to talk about the Bears inactives. There's one super interesting one that we need to discuss. Obviously, we knew Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker were ruled out. Nate Davis is inactive once again, possibly on the trade block. Zach Pickens, a little surprising that he's inactive since he was coming back from injury, and then Dominique Robinson has been inactive. But at the top, Khalil Herbert, inactive.
First time ever. It's a healthy scratch.
So, you know, he's kind of been pushed out. He's kind of in this role where I feel like he's in a weird way, the backup RB1, which means if anything were to happen to Swift, I feel like he would actually get the bulk of the carries as the lead back. And that's kind of what we saw last year with Deontay Foreman. Or he's inactive because sometimes you see this trade deadline's coming up.
Right.
You know, Josh Uche in with the New England Patriots was inactive today, and he's, you know, one of their better pass rushers, and they've been kind of limiting his reps in recent weeks. So sometimes that happens with some of these guys, and, you know, keep Nate Davis safe in case somebody's going to come calling for him. Same thing with Khalil Herbert. I think it's a super interesting move. Remember, Homer came back this week, so your backs today. You obviously have DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson, and then Travis Homer. Velus Jones was cut on Friday.
So I got a lot of thoughts on this. I'll just keep it to the Khalil Herbert part for now. I can't.
It's not that hard. It's just it goes in front of your mouth, not your nose. It goes in front of your mouth.
Yes, I definitely feel like I sound
You've only
great,
worked in radio for 30 years.
Maybe I can sound even better. That's fine. All right, listen, Khalil Herbert. See, only the Bears, to me, would do what's happening to Khalil Herbert. He led the NFL in yards per carry. 5.7 yards per carry. You're telling me that Roshan Johnson is that much better of a blocker and pass catcher that you would rather have him out there and his 3 yards per carry and his choppiness in the hole over Khalil Herbert? I don't understand that.
Well, it's more about the role they're in on game day, though.
I understand. They're
not asking Roshan to be the lead back. That's why I just said what I said. If
I understand,
Swift got hurt, Khalil would be the starter.
Let me ask you something. The Detroit Lions, who apparently
I'm just going to stand behind Carman. You just let me know.
You don't complain about your microphone time. Listen to me.
I just want to be able to see. I'm not
I
worried about
Greg
talking.
All right. So listen, I'll stand back. My apologies. Listen, the Detroit Lions, who apparently are the greatest team that's ever played football, who runs the ball for them? Is there 2 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Are you really telling me that DeAndre Swift is this bell cow back that's going to get it every time? No, he isn't. Wouldn't you want your second best ball carrier out there? That's what Khalil Herbert is. Or he might even be their best ball carrier. DeAndre Swift's never led the league in yards per carry. By the way, Herbert did that on a bad team. I find it to be a little bit frustrating that you have a guy who's proven that he can do it. Roshan, I get it. He's bigger, better blocker, whatnot. But when he has the ball in his hands, it's not as dynamic.
It's a little pitter pat, right?
Right.
Not a downhill. It's such a big
hole.
guy.
I just there is a Khalil Herbert situation going on that I just don't agree with.
Yeah.
And the Velus thing I'll do in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of thought this offseason when they got Swift, I kind of thought that was the writing on the wall for Khalil Herbert. You know, I think obviously I would like to see him play just because I think he is so dynamic and explosive and what he can bring to the table, especially like you talked about the yards per carry. Just see what he can do differently than Roshan, right? And if there's situations where you maybe want to have Roshan in on more pass protection or things like that, but you got a guy that can break some big runs just to see what he could offer the offense.
Well, and I don't disagree with you. Herbert should have a role on this team, but at the end of the day, it's about snaps. And so they have to decide as a team how many roster spots are going to be divvied up to each position group. And if Herbert's only going to get, limited 5 or less snaps and they have to worry about depth at a different position group, that's what it comes down to. Now, if DeAndre Swift were to go down, God forbid, in any game, now you are wishing that Khalil Herbert is active. So it is a risk in today's game if DeAndre Swift at some point has to come off the field and they don't have that balance off.
Which we saw last year in a game where Kari Blassingham had to finish as the RB1 at the end of the game, and now he's not even on the team.
Yeah. And let's just talk about Velus for 1 second. And I get it. Like, look, you can't turn the ball over, and he had his opportunities. We all remember the Giants moment and the Commanders moment, and Bajan's touchdown pass to him against the Rams where he rolled around in the end zone and dropped it, and it was painful. However, the guy still runs a 4.2, 4.3, and is 6 foot, 200 and some odd pounds. If you really were going to not trade him for whatever the 6th or 7th round pick that you got, he shouldn't have been just buried because of one play this year. He had one horrendous play that seemingly only Velus could do, kick it forward 20 yards and lose the football. But it's like, if you knew that, look, if this dude fumbles it one more time on a kickoff or in a game, then he's never playing for us. Then you should have just dealt. If it was that short, then you should have taken whatever slop they could have gotten draft pick wise and let him go.
Maybe a 4th, 5th, something
well,
like that.
Well, they probably regret that now. Yeah, absolutely.
6th, 7th, whatever. It doesn't matter. If literally he's going to make one mistake and you're going to bury him to that level, then he should.
So you think they should have kept him?
If you're going to keep him, then you got to live with him and let him grow. If you're not willing to do that anymore, which would have been a fine choice, then take whatever you could have gotten and get rid of him.
Right. They said the running backs coach said, "There's nobody on this team I'm going to fight for harder to have a roster spot than Velus Jones. And if he makes one mistake, he's gone."
Well, but I don't think it was him. I think Chad Morton probably would have still put him out there, but the Bears just didn't do it.
Well, you know what, though? You had time. You
reap what you sow.
It's one of those things where it was a story you kind of wanted to see come to fruition, but you know what? We're not going to be talking about Velus Jones in the next 3 weeks because he's not here. It's just you move on from real quick. We got to pause for a second. I do want to tell people what we got going on today, a really special initiative that we're doing to help raise some funds today for the Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson Foundation. Last couple of years, we've brought this up right around this time, but the 3rd annual JD tailgate's going on today in the neighborhood that I live in Vernon Hills. So we're actually going to check in out there a couple times. I think we'll get there by the end of the pregame show and definitely in the postgame. But to kind of feature that a little bit more, and we had the awesome event the other night on Thursday at Tau in the city. We are going to continue to help raise some funds today for the Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson Foundation. So if you're somebody who likes to super chat us, you're still more than welcome to do that if you want to make sure you get your comments on the screen and all that. But I know sometimes we just get some super chats, like just to say thanks. I think that would be a good reason today to just instead go to tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. You could do both. We'll certainly encourage that too. But if you'd like to donate, it's tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. We will continue to show you that link and mention that link throughout both pregame and postgame today. And their mission supports research initiatives that were close to both Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson, heart disease, mental health, cancer, alongside fostering the development of future journalists. They have scholarships that they give to young journalism prospects that are still in high school and going off to college. Some awesome stories there. And the founder and head of the foundation, Nick Jalames, who's a close friend of Vaughn McClure's. I talked to him this morning, and he is going to match dollar for dollar everything we raise today. So everything that we raise will get doubled at the end of the day. And we'll continue to keep you updated, too, on the donations as they come in. Again, that's tvmjdfoundation.org/donate.
That's right. And we got a ton of diehards here at Almost Home. We appreciate everybody coming out. Bears game coming up here real soon. But wanted to give a quick time out to remind everybody now is as good a time as ever to become a diehard.
Well, and it's the early arrivers. Spencer was here, I think at 3 a.m, and then Rich came in at 4. They've been hanging out. They've just been absolutely waiting for this moment where you shout them out. But I'll do it myself.
We've been waiting our whole lives for this moment, and we're building the biggest and best community of Chicago sports fans, and we want you to be a part of it. So much so that we're giving you a special offer with our lowest rate ever. Become a CHGO Sports diehard today for just $4 a month. Billed annually. That's right. Just $48 a year. Get you a free t-shirt, access to our exclusive written content, including Hoge's Bears things. Nick Moriano's been doing an amazing job interviewing guys in the locker room, breaking down specific plays, getting their perspective from it. Carm's grades, everything at your disposal, and then all the other sports that we do as well. Plenty of discounts and access to our CHGO Sports Discord lounge where we all hang out and talk Chicago sports. This is a limited time offer, so act now. Visit chgosports.com/intro to sign up today. Cannot miss this offer while it lasts. We appreciate everyone signing up because then you're supporting everything that we're trying to build here. And we're building something special here at CHGO Bears and CHGO Sports.
Thank you, Gregory.
All right, we're going to check in with Nicholas Moriano out at whatever the hell the stadium's called these days. I think it's Northwest Stadium.
Northwest.
They
left out the urn.
Right? Back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, Northwest Airlines Stadium. Oh, is that not a thing anymore? You know what? It's a crap hole is what it is, if we're being honest. Nick's going to be lucky to be able to see anything from the worst press box in the league, but he is there. We still set him there, and he's going to join us shortly Before we get there, though, let's talk about this Jayden Daniels thing. So the reports all week, we were tracking it. We were talking about it. I think the Commanders did a really good job of casting some doubt over this, and then the old switcheroo came late in the weekend. Now, it could all be legit that he's all of a sudden feeling better, but
well, you would not practice him for 2 days if there wasn't actually something of concern going on.
Well,
right?
obviously he wasn't feeling well, you know, and then but I just thought it was funny on Friday because they never even showed him to the media. There's a small portion of practice that's open, and they put all the quarterbacks in the bubble, and then they brought some of them, but not Jayden, out in front of the media. Right. So, you know, they're obviously playing some games, whatever. I find it funny every time teams want to do that. I mean, I'm sure the Bears were still preparing as if Jayden Daniels was going to play this entire time, and now he is. My question to you guys is, are you happy he's playing? Because there's a couple different ways to look at this. It's good for the matchup, but he's also a pretty damn good player we've seen so far, and it's going to make it hard. And we've seen the line move already from Bears being favored by 3. I think it's down to 1.5.
I always like their best versus our best. As a competitor, former player, you want to see their best out there. And obviously, it's great for the matchup, him versus Caleb, 1 and 2. Who knows? We'll see as the game goes on if he's truly close to 100% or not.
And I'm sorry, the Commanders are not 1.5 point favorite.
Okay.
Right.
It keeps going up, too.
That.
Here's the thing, though. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is he really worth 4.5 points?
4.5 is what it's. Well, that's what the gambling market
is. Caleb Williams not playing on the other side of the ball?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have been one of the most potent offenses in football all season long, and I understand one team's 5-2 and the Bears are 4-2, and it's taken a minute for the Bears to get to the same, almost essentially the same spot they are. But they've been more consistent throughout the year offensively, and he's been a big part of that. And you know, it's always trying to like denigrate one guy to prop up the other when it comes to Caleb versus Jayden, but they're a force to be reckoned with on offense. Jayden Daniels has been one of the best quarterbacks in football. So this is a great test for this Bears defense. So when you ask, am I excited? I'm happy we finally got an answer. Yep. And now we finally get to say, all right, Chicago Bears defense, you've got the biggest test of your season. Yep. Houston was the first one, but that's an AFC matchup. You have an opportunity here to really put your fingerprints on this NFC conference race.
Here come the Broncos walking in here. You guys eat a ton of Uncrustables, but you don't do it the way we do it here at Almost Home. Just wanted to taunt the Broncos, and it didn't really work. But
they were very confused.
Yeah, they were like 78-year-old Broncos fans who were like, okay. At any rate, listen, Hoge, the guy leads the NFL in completion percentage at over 75. I mean, that's a significant number. His passer rating 107. That's 6th in the.
You could complete 50% of the passes that they're throwing.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where it's like are you saying that tongue in cheek or are you being for real?
Well, both.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think Carm could actually.
It's a very QB friendly offense.
Do you think I could run it 66 times for 372 yards too? I mean, I'm pretty shifty, but I don't know if I could do that. Listen, he's played well.
Yeah.
You got to give him his credit. By the way, he's ran it 41 more times. The way they're designing plays, I get it, all that, but he's run it 41 more times than Caleb.
It's a big part of their offense.
It's a big part of their offense. It's a big reason why he's been questionable with a rib injury all week.
Well,
we all knew this was going to happen.
And you see his frame. It's not like he's built like Justin
he's
Fields.
Skinny
or
Justin Fields.
Well, and that's why it's a huge question that they'll actually be able to run the offense that's got them to this point all season long today. Because to me, it would feel very reckless to do what they've done from a run disparity with the quarterback.
I think they're going to run it the same way, but they're just going to tell them, hey, listen, if you're in doubt, get down, get out of bounds. Not going to allow them to take hits, I think, in this week.
Completion percentage, running the ball, just launching himself instantly as an NFL quarterback, all impressive. But one of the more impressive stats when you look at the Commanders, they don't turn it over. 2nd in the NFL in giveaways. They've been turnover free in 5 of the first 7 games. If the Bears are going to win today, they're going to have to get 1, I would think, if not more.
Well, and that is where it hurts a little bit that you don't have Jaquan Brisker and especially Kyler Gordon, in my opinion, out there.
And Daniels gets a ton of credit for that. That's what the point I'm trying to make.
But Tyreek Stevenson is coming back. Let's not forget that. He missed the last game. And then on top of that, Terrell Smith, who's been out for a while now, and I know that they view Terrell Smith as a starting caliber corner. Now, These are outside corner guys, but at least you have some depth there that's back. And even though you're missing Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker.
Well, and Terrell Smith, he covered Terry McLaurin last time they played and did a good job against him.
Yeah. I want to see Jalen Johnson when he's matched up against Terry McLaurin. I think that's huge. You stop the run, you get them one-on-one, show why he's one of the best corners in the league. And I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's been able to do.
100%. All right, well,
look at the Bears fans just coming in here to Almost Home, just the smile on their faces as they walk into the beautiful sunshiny patio-style horseshoe bar. There's nowhere else you would rather be for the next 4 hours of your life. You're in the neighborhood, 3801 North Clark. Come on by here. Bragg's giving out free hugs. Aren't you, Brags?
He refused to give me a hug at first today. I had to force it.
We got you.
You did come in with some good energy. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
You give me that. I'll try to get on your level.
The 325.
I'll take a Jack and diet. Get me up on the right mind space.
Number 4, number 3. Where were you?
That would be my third if I do get one. Indeed.
How do you think he keeps that physique with a diet?
Yeah.
You're gonna find
London
out.
post-game brags coming up.
You're gonna find out next Saturday
When we're playing a scramble.
when we are in Arizona. And make sure you hit up True Fan Travel. If you are going to Arizona or thinking about going or planning to go, or if you're already going, hit up truefantravel.com. We've got some great events here coming up. Saturday, we're going to be having a golf outing and a scramble, as Corey just mentioned. We're doing a meet and greet party Saturday night, a tailgate Sunday before the game, post-game show, live pregame show, live post-game show at a bar right down, like literally a walking distance from the stadium called Salt in the entertainment district.
If
of
anyone's
Arizona.
if anyone's ever been to Glendale, right by where the stadium is, it's literally across from the old hockey arena where the Coyotes played.
Yep.
It's still an arena. It's still active, and then the football stadium's right behind that. So the entertainment district right down there, Glendale, Westgate, it's awesome, and it's beautiful. It's sunny. There's a fountain there. We're gonna be right out there at Salt, which is a great location.
Right, you're right. It is amazing. There's like 40 different restaurants, bars, stores, and everything else. It's literally an entertainment district, and so you can go to truefantravel.com and sign up for any of these events individually. You don't have to sign up for the entire trip to go to a singular event. So hit up truefantravel.com if you want to come. I know some people were asking about parking. Like I said, it's an entertainment district. Yep. There's huge parking lots there that are available, but you might want to get there early on a game day, I'd imagine.
Brags will be parking cars. You're willing to do anything for the team.
Yes, I will park.
There's also
I might be having a few drinks.
There's also a lot of empty desert in the area, too, that I think they park cars on.
If you hit up Matthew Gregory, I'll give you his cell phone number. He lives in the Arizona area. We can all just park at his house.
Can we
then shuttle from there?
Beautiful idea. Can we talk about the Flus factor for 1 second here? I know we're going to have Nick in probably 2 minutes, but
Flus factor.
3-16 on the road, the Flusy Flus, which is a little bit unfair to the Flus because
I believe one of those wins was in Washington.
Yep,
that's true. 230 yards. DJ Moore.
Washington,
New England,
and I don't know off the top of my head anybody. Detroit. Do we win at Detroit?
Well, and this is
2 years ago.
When you talk about about the Flus factor and you talk about the Flus makeover that went on during the offseason and in Hard Knocks, we're starting to check some boxes of uncharted territory with Matt Eberflus. They had never won 3 straight games in the Matt Eberflus era until they won in London. They hadn't beaten a good quarterback of any sort of all the wins of Matt Eberflus's career here until they beat Matthew Stafford. That was the best quarterback to date. Everybody else was backup caliber. Now you've beaten Matt Stafford, you've beaten Trevor Lawrence, and now you have an opportunity to beat Jayden Daniels here on the road. So again, Matt Eberflus has done a great job here, with this defense, but this is another new box to check in uncharted territory.
The correct answer was at Minnesota last year.
Right. I remember
12-10, beautiful game. They threw the ball horizontally the entire time.
I remember, and we had to go on that show and be like, no. Yeah, that one throw in the fourth quarter by Justin was amazing.
Yeah.
You remember that one
It was a big throw.
That was
if you're a good defensive coordinator, you're facing a rookie quarterback. You've got one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah, you've got a couple guys out, so that's certainly an element you have to consider. But this is your opportunity to make that rookie quarterback feel a little heat, get uncomfortable,
and on his ribs,
right, and make a mistake.
Right? If he runs, it's free reign.
Let me ask you a question. What is the head coach's job in a bye week? What does he have? What is the key to getting guys back ready to go after having a little time off?
I think when you get back, got to get the conditioning down, because I think that's the first thing that goes, especially after bye week. I always felt like I was a little tired because you're slacking from your routine. You're maybe eating some food you normally don't. You're not in the same practice routine that you normally are.
So it's interesting that you say that. I'll leave names out of it, but one Bear was talking about, like, hey, this is he was hanging out in the locker room. My friend's like, a bye week, I'm going to the city more. I'm eating a little bit different, and all of a sudden, like, my body starts to ache a little bit more because you put stuff in it that you normally don't. And that has an impact. So all the things you're talking about.
Because you're going to take a couple of days off naturally, right? Because you had a bye week, and you're going to go on vacation. A lot of the veteran guys, they're going on vacation to Miami or California for a couple of days and kick it. So I think the biggest thing is once they got back, Flus, get back to your routine, right? The workouts, the conditioning, a little bit of extra running at the end of it. Because I really do think your wind, even in a week's time, can really slack.
Great question by a reporter on Friday. I asked Flus, like, what is the key to, coaching coming off the bye? And he said, he was talking about in practice, the pad level, making sure that, guys getting comfortable back hitting.
Yep.
That makes sense?
It is, because you're out of mind, out of sight. You get back to it. You got to get back to the routine, right? Fundamentals, discipline. That's why early on in this game, we're going to see how well they're locked in, especially with Cliff Kingsbury, Jayden Daniels, this offense, how they can trick you, how disciplined are the Bears going to come out.
By the way, Joey Christopoulos just walked in. Joey Christopoulos, everybody. Give it up. Give it up.
Big Joey.
Thank you. Just Joey doing a great job with us on our.
Hey, Joey, I'll take a Jack and Diet.
Jack and Diet for Jack. He can't survive if he doesn't have one in the next 1 minute.
Hurry up.
But yeah, I think early on, like, I think the key is watching, especially the defensive line, Braggs, do they seem like they're a little bit winded early on? Are they able to get the substitutions? Because I think off a bye week, that's my main concern, especially I think the wind goes a little bit.
We got to go out to Nick, who is in D.C. right now. Also, we are aware we are having some video issues. Everybody can still hear us. It's okay. But our camera is down right now, so we're gonna fix that. And the good news is you get to look at Nick, just beautiful face all over your full screen.
Great hair
right now while we work on our camera. Nick, set the scene out there in DC, whatever you can possibly see. But have you gotten a good look at Jayden Daniels pregame and any idea of how he's actually feeling? Or does he look 100%? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so guys, I mean, he came out first off with a basketball to kind of start things off here, and was just kind of, just shooting some shots for a little bit, but then also working on some exercises with his arm and throwing a medicine ball. But when he got the football, it looked like he was doing everything that he normally could do. He was throwing some 20-yard out routes, throwing some fade routes, then some routes in the middle of the field. So from my perspective from this press box, and you've been here before, Adam, not the greatest view, but he looks to be good to go. So I think that's what we're going to see from Jayden Daniels in this Washington Commanders offense. Like you, I'm curious to see if they get outside the pocket, what he's actually going to be like. Are they going to actually have as many plays? So I'm glad that we get this matchup, though. 1 and 2, it was bound to happen. I'm glad we're going to see it.
Nick, I think this game comes down to how well we do defensively, stopping this offense with Jayden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, and staying at home disciplined, especially with the front seven. What do you think your key to this game is? What do you think the determining factor for this game is?
Yeah, I think really simply it's eye discipline there, Wood. I think what you see from the Commanders' offense is a lot of different motions. They're trying to get defenders out of their normal spots and then hit them with big plays behind that. So if you're Elijah Hicks, who's going to be starting for his second straight game, Josh Blackwell will be playing some big minutes in this game with Kyler Gordon out, or just all the Bears defenders, you need to stay disciplined, not get confused when they run these motions and then try to hit big plays behind that. So I think it really comes down to simple things like that, honestly. If the Bears can play discipline, not overcommit to things, and just play their style of defense, they should be okay. And just talking with Elijah Hicks, you guys, and Jayden Daniels has taken some hits throughout the course of his rookie season. I asked him, like, when you know a guy's taking hits, who's dealing with a rib injury, what's the mentality? He's like, we play as physical as possible within the rules of the game. If there's opportunities to take shots, this Bears defense is going to take them.
The Green Bay Packers and the Jacksonville Jaguars are now tied here with 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that was that cheer you heard a few minutes ago.
Yeah, a big-time over-the-top touchdown. I think they might be reviewing it, but it's all good. Clean touchdown for Jacksonville. So we'll see if Green Bay is going to go back down and get the game-winning field goal, or maybe Jacksonville can flip this here today down in Florida.
Nick, do you see Khalil Herbert out there warming up, or is he just in a full protest mode? Because I'm trying to make – do you think they're making the right decision here, Nick, with Herbert inactive?
To answer your first question, I see no players on the field. They're all in the locker room right now, Mark, but they'll be back out here soon enough. But are they making the right decision? Well, if they weren't going to use Khalil Herbert and, you're seeing a guy like Jacob Martin get an opportunity to play his first game as a defensive end for the Bears defense. So you're looking at moves that are corresponding with Khalil Herbert not being active today. If he's not going to be your guy on third down, DeAndre Swift is a more effective runner as of the last 3 weeks. Like that's the hot hand right now, Mark. And I know that he has been a capable runner when he's got his opportunities, but I really like what DeAndre Swift has been doing. I like what Roschon Johnson provides at third down protection as a guy that can leak out of the backfield. He had 2 third down receptions that went for first downs in the game against Jacksonville. So if that's the game plan going in where you're not going to utilize him then yes, I do think it's the right choice. I just think that the 2 guys they have in front of him right now, and also Travis Homer obviously being active too, like that might be the better group right now. If it was between Homer and Herbert, I'd take Herbert. But obviously the Bears don't see it that way right now.
Lot of action. Jameis Winston just threw a touchdown to take the lead with under a minute to go on the Ravens. Almost home is officially jumping.
Boy,
there's a lot of
Deshaun Watson sucks.
Yeah, well,
Jameis Winston just takes over, and the Browns are scoring.
I hope they win so I can see his press conference.
And so Malik Willis and the Packers are going to try to drive down and win the game here. So we'll see how that goes. But, Nick, I'm curious about the vibes in the stadium. Bears fans traveled so well all the way internationally across the pond to London. We anticipate a huge crowd in Arizona. What's the Bears fan contingent look like in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, as you know, Braggs, Bears fans do travel well. Looking to my left here, I feel like that's where a majority of the Bears fans are on this left side. But no, like in the hotel I was at this morning, I mean, majority on my floor, at least for Bears fans, but they're like, don't get it wrong here. The Commanders fans, obviously being a home state, and they came out and represented. This is a big matchup, like you guys were talking about earlier. 2 up and coming teams in the NFC. So my guy Herb Howard, of course, he's excited about it. So there's a bunch of Bears fans here, and they're ready to see that Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels matchup.
So speaking of Caleb, have you been able to see, by the way, a couple homecomings going on? One's like kind of a half homecoming. Obviously, Caleb Williams going back to D.C. DJ Moore played at Maryland, and my understanding is the Bears Hotel in recent years when they go on to D.C. is like basically right next to the Maryland campus.
College Park, right by there.
Yeah, so a little bit of a homecoming too, even though he's from Philly, to come back to the area. Have you been able to see anything with Caleb? Anything different? People on the sideline? Ticket requests, anything like that, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, they had early on, probably right when I got here, at Caleb Williams High School, just some kids from the high school out here early on. But speaking of reunion, like Montez Sweat coming back to, his old team, he and Deron Payne were kind of just talking a little bit and, just kind of messing around. But Jennifer King as well, the Bears, running backs coach, was also talking up with some of the Commander staff. So a lot of little interactions going on between these 2 teams. And again, I think that just creates or adds to the atmosphere that we're kind of feeling here.
Nick, I'm going to give you an opportunity to be bold. Do you think that will be the best of Caleb Williams' short career to this point when we're talking to you in about 4 hours?
Carm, you literally cut off at probably the most important part in your question. So if you could repeat that middle portion, then I can answer your question.
I will try one more time. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Do you believe that at the end of today's game, this will be the best game that Caleb Williams has ever played in a Bears uniform against this Commanders defense with the matchup, all the motivation that's going into this game as the Bears look for win number 5.
You know, when I was kind of like previewing this game and thinking how this could shape out, I had the Bears winning regardless of who was playing quarterback for the Commanders. I didn't have it being the Caleb Williams game that we're going to be talking about, but I feel like he can have such an efficient game with what this Commanders defense gives up. They're ranked 31st in the league with explosive plays given up. And with the Bears, they have been creating more explosives. So I think Caleb Williams can have a very effective game. I don't know if he's going to get more than the 4 touchdown pass that he had in London, but if he goes for 3 touchdowns, 250 plus yards, no turnovers, like that, beating this caliber team, maybe that equates to being the best performance. But I don't know if he's topping the 4 touchdown performance that he had in London.
All right, Nick, great stuff as always.
Cheers, Nick.
We will talk to you when the game is over with all the locker room. We go inside the locker room with Nicholas Moriano and every CHGO Bears postgame show. Remember, as soon as the game ends, you want to be right back here at CHGO, and we will have everything covered after this next Bears victory. Predictions coming up. Thanks, Nick. We'll talk to you postgame. We also want to do a live look-in, though, as we go to the JD tailgate that's going on in Vernon Hills right now. And again, in lieu of super chats today, of course, we'll still take your super chats if you want to send them in, but we're encouraging you guys to donate to the Vol McClure and Jeff Dickerson Foundation today. tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. You can see all the people out there right now at a big tailgate that they're having in Vernon Hills. Some of my family members are there too. And just everybody wearing their JD shirts, which I'm wearing today as well in support. tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. All your money would be going towards research initiatives, heart disease, mental health, cancer, and fostering development of future journalists. These were all important causes. The Vol McClure and Jeff Dickerson, who we miss very, very much. And again, the founder, Nick Jalamas, will be matching every single dollar raised today.
And if I can say one thing, right, when I played, those were 2 of my favorite guys that covered the Bears that I got a chance to work with. Stand-up guys, awesome people. It was unfortunate what happened to them, but really great guys. I have fond memories doing interviews with them over the years.
So, and just also Vaughn, I connected with him some with Bears, but he was also would go to a ton of Bulls games as media guy. And so we always had just an enjoyable pregame there. And shout out JD, who, like Hoge, came after me in this business that I paved the way for so many of. And I would go out to Hallis Hall once a week. And inevitably, the Packers just won, by the way, on a field goal at the horn, 30-27. That's nauseating.
They didn't cover. Most suspicious line of the week. They didn't cover.
There it is. And so I would, I'd have some technical issue. I wouldn't be able to figure out how to get the press conference. I couldn't figure out the sound. JD would always be there. Carman, I got you, and he would take care of me because he was that guy.
2 awesome dudes. And if you followed them, follow their coverage, please help us out today. tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. We are going to keep you posted on all the donations in the post game. All right, as we keep our live looking in Vernon Hills right now, battled through our camera issue that we're continuing to have. We will get that fixed by the post game, I promise. We do have to get to our predictions for today, and as always, our game predictions are sponsored by our guy Ray Scarpelli at Ray Auto Group. And we're going to hear from his prediction here. Why don't we do prop bets here real quick? Are you good to go on that? Okay. Yeah, our Week 8 do you have the video, though? Yeah, okay. Our Week 8 predictions, we'll just give ours. I'm going 23-20.
Bears. Hoge's picking the Bears.
Yep. I'm picking the Bears 28-17. I think it's a slow start, but I think they'll finish strong. I think they'll hold Jayden Daniels in this talented offense.
Yeah, 24-20 Bears. They'll continue their streak of keeping the defense keeping offenses under 21 points for 13 straight games. But ultimately, I think Caleb Williams will be able to find some open windows on this Washington secondary specifically. So I'm looking for him to continue to air it out.
Had a tough time with this one, but listen, 3 wins on the road, playing a very good football team. Everyone's picking the Bears. That makes me nervous, plus the fact that I don't necessarily love the running back matchup that I mentioned earlier. So I am taking the Commanders.
What?
27-26. I know people are mad at me. Somebody had to do it. I will claim victory.
Nobody had to do it.
No, you didn't have to do it.
Nobody had to do it.
I had to do it. I did it.
All
So
right,
I got Washington winning by 1, and I got us complaining about the head coach after the game. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. Well, to your point, that would be a very predictable result for the Bears in this situation from what we've seen. That's part of why I think this is such a big game. Can they keep this momentum, win a game that maybe historically would not go their way? And I'm going to remain optimistic. I think they pull it out. They do need to get off to a better start, though. Why don't you take one more sip so we can hear that again? I like that noise. There it is.
Yo,
Sounds like a smooth.
It's like when you cross over and you drink an alcoholic beverage, you normally would drink the beverage out of the glass, but when you're deep down a 4-year-old, you still slurp out of the straw.
I'm still a straw man.
We need to check in with our
You're
guy.
more of the straw man typically, but today I'll be the straw man. You like that? You like that? That's a pun.
The always optimistic Ray Scarpelli, as our predictions are always sponsored by Ray Auto Group. All right, I got our guy Ray Scarpelli in person this week, right in front of the Ray Chevrolet dealership. Bears Commanders. Ray, who you got?
I got the Bears 28-17 in or out. I think Caleb proves he's the real offensive rookie of the year.
There it is. Caleb keeps it rolling. Bears keep it rolling. All right. As always, I don't think Ray's going to pick against the Bears all year. Not that I have. No, I haven't either. So I should talk.
he's on Meatball Island.
Absolutely. Quickly, guys, since we're down on camera, let's do our prop bets. I'm going to give you Caleb Williams over 250 passing yards. You can still get plus 130 on that.
I'm going to do Caleb Williams over 1.5 touchdowns in this game. Like that.
And I'm going Rome Odunze. He's done it 4 times this year, at least 33. The over-under for him is 33.5 receiving yards. That Washington secondary stinks. Rome, you're going at least 50 today, if not, let's get close to 100 where he was once this year.
I'm right there with you, Carm. I'm going the Rome Odunze lane. I've threatened everyone that I'm just going to continue to say Rome Odunze is going to have a breakout game until it becomes true. So slam it all. Plus 1,400, first touchdown score, Rome Odunze. Plus 250 anytime touchdown, Rome Odunze. Plus 2,200, 2 touchdown performance from Rome Odunze. Bet them all.
You're all in, baby.
All in.
The fact that Braggs was able to find multiple prop bets is one of the greatest accomplishments in Braggs history. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
I did it.
I'm proud
I'll
of you.
step out of this.
Over
straw.
under Jack and Cokes.
6.
8.
Over.
He's feeling himself today. I'll tell you that.
Let's hope the Bears are feeling themselves too. We're going to close up shop here again. Please help us raise some money today for the Vaughn McClure and Jeff Dickerson Foundation, tvmjdfoundation.org/donate. We will update all that on the post-game show. I think we checked all our boxes here, didn't we?
Bears. Let's go, Bears.
Bears game coming up next. I smell some wings. I'm hungry. I gotta get some. We're at almost home. You can still come out and join us here. We'll be watching the whole game here and have a post-game show. Come on over. We're gonna have a great time today. We will talk to you on the post-game show.
Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.